States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We might get out of here before 11. Play our cards right. You need an agenda? Did you bring your things? No agenda?
No.
Kids, no copies to eat on.
Mary brought them up, but I don't know. There was a box. Your box?
Probably all pick the house.
They were?
I says they probably are.
We don't know who we are either. Jim, you're gonna bring up that abandoned hole? I'm not sure what the hell you did.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it.
All right.
Mary brought some box. They're gonna make some more. Oh, there they are.
We're so good on TV. I thought we were so good on TV, you had to come in person.
Here? Yeah. Scared was, sure. We think one of the other ones is from my memory. They don't know by now, it's too late anyway. They're here today. And they want. So that's what we want. Even though they don't understand. But yeah.
Talk about it tonight.
Okay, roll calls, please.
Mayor?
Here.
First ward?
Here.
Second ward?
Here.
Third ward?
Here.
Fourth ward?
Here.
Fifth ward?
Here.
Sixth ward?
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Item 1, please.
Whereas Carmen Vascio passed from this life on November 1, 1992. Whereas Carmen was born here in Fulton and resided here all his life. Whereas he was employed as a truck driver for the Fulton Department of Public Works, was a member of the Softball Association of Fulton, and played and refereed softball for many years. Where Carmen was a member of the Italian American Club and Polish Home and was inducted into the Bowling Hall of Fame in 1990. Whereas he is survived by his wife Rita, 2 sons Philip E. of Fulton and Paul J. of Tampa, Florida, 1 daughter, Andrea McCabe of Hannibal, 2 brothers, Andrew of California and Donald of Indiana, 12 grandchildren and several nieces and nephews. Whereas the mayor, members of the council, and all of his friends, neighbors, and acquaintances will miss this kind and gentle man who touched so many lives. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and members of the council share the great sense of loss with the friends and family of the late Carmen Vascio, and do with deepest regret take official notice of the loss of Carmen Vascio. Be it further resolved that this resolution of respect be spread upon the official records of this council meeting of November 5th, 1992, and a copy of it be transmitted to the immediate family of the late Carmen Vascio.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried. 2, please.
Resolved that the council hereby approves the following bills for payment. Oswego County Solid Waste, $11,456.50 for tipping fees. Oswego County Solid Waste, $2,948.50 tipping fees. Oswego County Solid Waste for solid waste hauling, $2,157. Villano Brothers, $1,380 for hydrants. Jones Chemicals for chlorine. Agway Petroleum, $1,333.26 for gasoline. Clement Company, $1,100 for testing and repair of gasoline and diesel tanks. Babcock Oil, $1,366.37 for fuel. Northern Bituminous, $1,125 for blacktop. Northern again for $35,288 for blacktop. The above items are budgeted but over the $1,000 charter limit and requires the council's approval.
Motion, please.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried. 3, please. please.
Resolved, the City Chamberlain is hereby authorized to increase the appropriations account budget F8320.10 and increase the reserve account F2701 for the $1,800 credit to the water account for the resolution passed on September 15th, 1992.
Motion, please.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried. 4, please.
Resolved that the appointment of Jill Hanson, 833 Emery Street, Fulton, New York, to the Board of Assessment and Review to fill the expired term of David Munger, effective September 30th, 1992, and to expire September 13, 1997, is hereby approved.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor indicate by
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no.
No.
Wait a minute. Let's make something clear. This is merely a perfunctory thing. I have the power to make these appointments. It does not require the approval of the council. Do you have any reason why you're opposed to that, Jim? You'd
Yeah,
like to...
Dave happens to be a good friend of mine, Mayor, and does live in my ward, and that's the only reason for my opposition.
Okay. Joe, in the future, I don't want a resolution by the council approving these appointments. That is not necessary. It isn't required, okay?
Well, this particular resolution, Mayor, does require council approval. It's not.
It does?
This is a kind of council. This is a mayor's appointment and council approval. It's not a notation of one.
Okay. Five, please.
Resolved that the following bill is hereby approved for payment. National Casualty, $2,500 for deductible reimbursement. The John Frederberg versus Chief Hanlon claim. The above item is budgeted, but is over the $1,000 charter limit and requires the council's approval.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
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 Opposed by no. Carried. 6, please.
Resolved, City Clerk's reports for the month of September 1992 in the amount of $19,006.12, and the month of October 1992 in the amount of $5,945.17 be approved and placed on file.
I'll move it. Second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried. 7, please.
Resolved, the City Clerk, as Records Management Officer for the City of Fulton, be authorized to dispose of records that no longer have a purposeful use or legal purpose, in accordance with the laws of the State Education Department and the MU1 retention schedule.
Motion, please.
I'll move it. Second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried.
Resolved that the Police Department is hereby directed to conduct a traffic study at the intersection of Fulton Ave and West 4th Street North for the feasibility of installing stop signs on West 4th Street.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried. 9, please.
Resolved, the Police Department is hereby directed to conduct a traffic study at the north side of Holy Family School where West 2nd and West 3rd Street merge for the feasibility of installing a yield sign on West 3rd Street.
I'll move it.
I'll second it. All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried. 10, please.
Resolved, the mayor be authorized to sign a quitclaim deed between the City of Fulton, New York and Muriel P. Sherman for a property located at 302 West Broadway, subject to the approval of the city engineer.
I'll move it.
Wait, are we simply referring to the city engineer? Do we need a resolution to do that?
Is that we?
I think you covered it both.
Yeah. I don't think you can resolution. Want to withdraw your motion, Jim? Refer to the city engineer.
I didn't make it.
I made it.
Oh, all right.
I'll withdraw it.
Thank you. Refer to the city engineer.
Okay.
11, please.
Resolved that Chapter 38 of the Fulton City Code entitled Loitering be added to read as follows. 38-1 Loitering. An individual loiters in a place at a time or in a manner not useful for law-abiding individuals under circumstances that warrant alarm for the safety of persons or property in the vicinity. No person shall loiter on public property that is customarily used by the public as an integral part of a commercial venture in such a manner as to A, disturb the peace as defined by the New York State Penal Code, B, obstruct the free passage of pedestrians or vehicles, C, obstruct or interfere with any person lawfully seeking access or the use of the commercial enterprise conducted on the property or adjacent or continuous to said property. Penalties. Any violation of this chapter shall be punishable by a fine of not more than $250 and or imprisonment of not more than 15 days.
I'll
Any
move
comment? Motion, please.
it. I'll move it.
I'll second it.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried. 12, please.
Resolved that the police department is hereby authorized and directed to conduct a traffic study for the purpose of installing a fire lane on the east and west side of the inside of the island in front of Price Chopper at Pyramid Mall.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried. 13, please.
Resolved that the city chamberlain is hereby authorized to transfer $2,000 from the A5110 paving account line item into the A5110 maintenance of streets line account item for emergency tree removal.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried. 14, please.
Resolved that a stop sign be installed at the intersection of North 3rd and Ontario Street for southbound traffic.
On what street?
It would be on third.
Third? Okay.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried. 15, please.
Resolved, the city clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise for a public hearing to be held on December 15th at 7:30 p.m. in the Common Council chambers of the Municipal Building, Fulton, New York, to consider the proposed 1993 budget of the City of Fulton, New York, and that said advertisement should advise senior citizens, handicapped citizens, and their representative organizations that they have an opportunity to be heard. And be it further resolved that the said proposed 1993 budget shall be complete and available for public inspection at the office of the city clerk 1 week prior to the public hearing.
Motion, please.
I'll move it. I'll second it.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried.
Do you want to change it to 40?
16, please.
Resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to sign the proposal submitted by Hydro Group for the redevelopment of Great Bear Well Number 4 at a cost not to exceed $7,200. The cost to be direct charge to the F832045 source of power and pumping account.
That's been budgeted, I understand.
Yes, Your Honor.
Motion, please.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried.
Resolved that the proposal submitted by O'Brien and Gare for leak detection service in the amount of $6,000 is hereby accepted. Said cost to be direct charged to the F8310.47 water administration account, and it is a budgeted item.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried. 18, please.
Resolved that the low quote submitted by A. Scott Whitaker, licensed and land surveyor, in the amount of $1,800 for surveying 40 acres on the Great Bear Road in the town of Valmy is hereby accepted. The cost to be a direct charge to the F8320.45 power and pumping account, and is a budgeted item.
This is a piece of land that we own on the Great Bear Farm that we're not even sure what the boundaries are, but we understand that there may be potentially water-producing wells. The survey was for the purpose of defining the boundaries so that we won't be drilling on somebody else's land. And it was necessary preliminary to any exploratory drilling. Motion, please.
I'll move it.
Second. Have a second.
Second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carries. 19 is an addition.
Resolve a temporary 6-month always stops signs be installed at the intersection of Rochester and South First. Be it further resolved that the resolution for a stoplight at that intersection, which was passed previously is hereby rescinded.
Well, that would be northbound traffic on First Street, is that right?
All ways, north and south, George.
North and south? Okay.
Keep them from both ways, and I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried. 20, is that the one on repairing the sidewalk?
Yeah.
What do you want to do with that? Jim?
Going
What do you
to
want to
do
do with
resolution to fix the, what I had and what John had.
that? Okay,
I gave my quotes and stuff to Bucks.
so he'll take care of it?
Yeah. Because we had to just pass it on to him, and
Is that all we need?
yeah, he'll take care of it.
Go ahead, Jimmy's going to let his do.
And discussion number 1 is going to be, John Crook is going to check with Mr. Ostrander and want to put that on for the next meeting, John?
Yeah, it's fine.
Number 2 is off to the next meeting. And number 3 will also be a resolution offered at the next meeting. Anybody in the audience have anything they'd like to bring up?
What's this
Yes,
about the
Alice.
highway? What is that?
The,
I see it all over and I don't know what it is.
Miller Company has adopted a highway, a 2-mile stretch. They will help to maintain, do that voluntarily. This is something that's being done a lot around the country.
That's all the way going to Massachusetts. They got it all the way through there and I wondered, what is it? Is it individuals that are buying up about highway or what they clean in the winter?
I think it's a cleaning thing, and they clean along the side of the highway and make sure that papers are picked up.
I'll read it to you. Miller Brewing Company employees adopt a section of Route 481. The employees of Miller Brewing Company join the ranks of Adopt a Highway groups and will maintain roadsides along a 2-mile section of 481, beginning at the Fulton City line and extending 2 miles south. The initial cleanup of the highway was conducted in mid-October. State's Adopt a Highway program allows our employees to take personal pride in the appearance of roadside entering and exiting our plant city of Fulton, said Kenneth Michael Chuck, manager. Under Adopt a Highway program began in New York in 1990, volunteer groups and organizations commit to beautifying stretches of state highways and keeping them litter-free. Under terms of legislation signed into law by the governor, DOT will coordinate and assist the efforts of the volunteer groups. Our Miller employees are committed to making a difference environmentally. We challenge other groups and businesses to do the same. Then they go on to recite what Miller Brewer is consisting of. I think we all know that. So anybody wants to adopt a highway, you have the blessings of Governor Como. It's all yours. Yes, dear.
I've got a question about that number 18, the Fulton there with the land survey.
Yeah.
Couldn't that be done by our engineer? Is he qualified to survey?
That's a good question. I never thought about that. Neil? Neil here?
Yep.
I'm not a land surveyor.
Not a land
I can do
surveyor,
construction
so that takes
surveying, but I
care of
can't legally do property surveys.
I think what you're used to is in the past, we had surveyors that were engineers and assistant engineers, but they didn't do much civil engineering, which was our great lack. Now we have a competent civil engineer, so I think we save a hell of a lot more money there than we do by hiring a surveyor as a city engineer.
Mr. English, when he was our engineer, used to do surveying.
Yeah, he was a surveyor, but he was not an engineer.
Your Honor, is Ron Edick qualified to do that?
I don't know.
No, he's not licensed.
Okay.
Okay.
Exhausted all long term.
I asked.
Well, no, it's perfectly all right. Anybody else? Motion to adjourn to executive session?
I have couple things, Your Honor, if I
Okay,
could. This is going to be a few thank yous to some people. One of them is to Roger Parsons and his department for the savings that he's done in this city of over $100,000 from contractual things using his own personnel for our I&I. And with that thought in mind, the letter and report that we received from him I did some checking with Carol Rutledge, the CDA, to find out if there were grants or funds available to possibly train other people in our employ in the city of Fulton to enhance our own deficit problems that we have to the point where we can do our own work without going outside, saving us considerable amounts of monies and getting it done when we want it done instead of having to wait for contractors. I think that if we can do that and there's enough there, it will give an upgrade to employees in the city. It will give them an avenue of advancement, which I don't know as they have that right now. I just think that the program, if we can get it off the ground, will enhance the city as a whole. Also, I'd like to thank Steve Lund and Barry Ostrander for their handling of complaints, ordinances in the city, and the compliance and taking care of what had to be done through the Parks and Recreation Commission, through Barry. And Steve, I thank you very much for the way you handled some of the things that happened over in the ward and complaints that we had. I also would like to thank the quick response from the police department for the removal of an out-of-state car that was parked for a few days, and I had a complaint, and within a couple hours it was gone. And I thank all of you gentlemen's fine job.
Yeah, I just want to make one comment. I received a letter from, or rather the report from Water and Sanitation on that very thing that Dave spoke of, and it is a tremendous accomplishment. Sorry. I'm so used to people telling me to keep it down.
Kind of a subdued audience.
But that was a long time ago. And I think mostly it was teachers. It's funny, you could be sitting in the back of the room in the classroom and be whispering to your neighbor, and the teacher would zero right in on you. You'd think I had a megaphone. In fact, one teacher thought I did have. Anyway, yes, I saw the report submitted by Water and Sanitation, and I want to tell you they're doing one hell of a job. And I wrote a letter of thanks to Roger Parsons, Don Patrick, who has also done a tremendous amount of work on this problem of taking care of what we call I&I, infiltration and inflow of stormwater into the sanitary sewers, and also a letter of thanks to each member of those departments. Yes, dear. It's your turn now.
Do we have an ordinance for junk cars?
Yes, we do. And the city court judge has informed me that our ordinance, which identifies junk cars as unlicensed vehicles that are stored on premises, ain't going to be enforced. That is no basis for determining what a junk car is. So I said, well, what is the basis? Well, he doesn't know what the basis is. So we're kind of up there in limbo. I suppose that the one way you could do it and not have any kickback is to bring a repairman or somebody who repairs automobiles and have them come and make an inspection of one and give us a written opinion as to whether it's a junk car or not. That is assuming the landowner would let us have permission.
Well, I'm not talking about any specific person, but there's a car in our ward that's had a flat tire on the front passenger side, I think 3 years now.
Yeah,
And it's got a piece of blue plastic over the back, and I know it has not moved in 3 years.
Well, if you recall the last meeting, I don't know if you were here. No, too bad. Missed a good one. Anyway, we have, of course, only been in since the first of the year, and we've been trying to take care of a lot of these little details. and we can't vouch for what hasn't happened in the past. And Spencer Luddington, our city attorney, is working on a new definition of junk cars so that we can get at these, because we know there are a lot of them, and we want to get rid of them. The next problem is after you have said, no, this is a junk car, is then finding somebody that'll take it.
Why they stay in the driveways, because the guy on Hannibal used to take them, but he doesn't take them anymore.
Yeah, that's getting to be a problem. I don't know what we're going to do about that, but I guess we can cross that bridge when we get to it. Anybody else? Yeah.
On TV, they tape all this meeting. It's aired by a lot of people that are unable to come here, senior citizens, etc. This gentleman takes the time to do it at his own expense of tapes, equipment. I was wondering if any consideration could be given to this gentleman to at least pay for these tapes, etc., so it could be seen by the constituents of the city.
I think we'd probably have to check that out, wouldn't we? Whether we legally we can do it or not. Now we can look into it, Ken. I think it's a good point. And he does a considerable public service. Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, before we're done, Mayor, as you know, we had some problems with the Conrail train early on in the year, and you and I hosted a meeting for many constituents from my ward, as Alderman Crook and Alderman Lincoln experienced as well. And our city attorney was in court with them last Thursday, and I'd like him to update us on the progress that we made with that.
I met with the attorneys for Conrail, and we discussed the whistleblowing and et cetera that's been going on, and I explained to them that the city considered it excessive and unnecessary disturbance, and I got assurances that she would speak directly with the officials and engineers at Conrail. I indicated that we'd allow a short adjournment to determine whether or not they had complied with our request to reduce the length of the and amount of whistles. And we're going to report back on December 3rd. I would just ask people if they have not reduced their whistleblowing, etc., to let me know, let Mr. Rice know, and then the city will proceed depending on how Conrail responds. I felt that Conrail wanted to work with the city, and I gave them an opportunity till December 3rd, a good faith effort. If they make one, we're willing to work with them. However, if they fail to do so, then we'll have to proceed with the prosecution.
My constituents applaud your effort. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Motion to adjourn the executive session.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor indicate by aye.
Aye.
Opposed by no. Carried.